President Gordon B. Hinckley, world leader of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, was ordained and set apart as the 15th president of the church on Sunday, March 12, 1995. He had earlier served 14 years as a counselor in the First Presidency. As a member of the First Presidency, he has had a major role in both administering both the ecclesiastical and temporal affairs of the church, whose nearly 10 million members are spread over 160 nations and territories. In addition to his church duties, President Hinckley has been active in community and business affairs. He has also been the recipient of a number of educational honors. One of President Hinckley's forebears, Stephen Hopkins, came to America on the Mayflower. Another, Thomas Hinckley, served as governor of the Plymouth Colony from 1680 to 1692. President Hinckley and his wife, Marjorie Pay Hinckley, have 5 children. Sister Hinckley has been an inspiring companion to President Hinckley for over 60 years. We are delighted to have Sister Hinckley with us here today. President Hinckley.
Thank you very much. Attorney General Reno, Senators Hatch and Senator Bennett, Congressman Cannon, other dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, and dear friends. At this season, when we memorialize the arrival of our forebears in these valleys of the West, it is fitting that we celebrate freedom, the reason for their coming here. Human liberty is such a precious and remarkable thing that it is worthy of a great festival. We've heard this remarkable choir tonight. They sing with such tremendous power. This choir has become a great national treasure. Its roots reach back 150 years to the pioneer beginnings of these mountain communities. We have had a wonderful time listening to them. We might wish that they could go on all evening. I would wish particularly. At the conclusion of my remarks, they will sing the Battle Hymn of the Republic, which has stirred audiences throughout the world. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never call retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer him. Be jubilant, my feet, our God is marching on. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with a glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us live to make men free, while God is marching on. This great hymn of hope stirs us now as it did more than a century ago when it was first sung. I promise you, every one of you, that you will be moved in your hearts as you again hear these talented voices singing out these marvelous and eloquent words. These words speak of the theme of this meeting. That theme is recognition of and trust in the Almighty, who has guided this nation since its inception. I salute Crystal Jolly for the excellent talk she has given. A news magazine writer asked me the other day during an interview concerning my belief in the Constitution of our country. I replied that I felt it was inspired, that both the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States were brought forth under the inspiration of God to establish and sustain the freedom of the people of this nation. I told him that I looked upon the Founding Fathers as men who believed in God, as men who prayed to God, as men who recognized God and wished to do His will. What a singular and remarkable group they were. As I look across the world today, I search in vain for such a group as walked together across the stage of history when this nation was born. Charles Mallock, Secretary General of the United States, once said on this campus, "I respect all men, and it is from disrespect for none that I say there are no great leaders in the world today. In fact, greatness itself is laughed to scorn. You should not be great today. You should sink yourself into the herd. You should not be distinguished from the crowd. You should simply be one of the many." He continued, "The commanding voice is lacking, the voice which speaks little, but which, when it speaks, speaks with compelling moral authority. This kind of voice is not congenial to this age. The age flattens and levels down every distinction into drab uniformity. Respect for the high, the noble, the great, the rare, the specimen that appears once every 100 or every 1,000 years is gone. Respect at all is gone. If you ask people whom and what people do respect, the answer is literally nobody and nothing. This is simply an unrespecting age. It is the age of utter mediocrity. To become a leader today, even a mediocre leader, is a most uphill struggle. You are constantly and in every way and from every side pulled down. One wonders who of those living today will be remembered 1,000 years from now, the way we remember with profound respect Plato and Aristotle, Christ and Paul and Augustine and Aquinas. He concluded, "If you believe in prayer, my friends, and I know that you do, then pray that God send great leaders, especially great leaders of the Spirit." End of quote. Just think of a moment of George Washington, of Franklin, of Madison, of the Adamses, of Thomas Jefferson, and their associates who signed the Declaration of Independence or participated in the Constitutional Convention. Where in all the world today can even one or two such men be found, let alone the great aggregation who participated in the birth of America? Can anyone deny that they were raised up unto this very purpose, that working together they brought forth on this continent an independent nation at the risk of their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor? It is my conviction that while we have had a few great leaders since then, there has not been before or since so large a group of talented, able, and dedicated men as those whom we call the Founding Fathers of this nation. For as long as they lived, they acknowledged the hand of the Almighty in the affairs of this republic. We have on our coinage and our currency a national motto. It simply says, "In God we trust." I know of no other nation with such a motto. Other nations use the phrase, "by the grace of God," but none other categorically states, "In God we trust." This is the foundation upon which this nation was established, an unequivocal trust in the power of the Almighty to guide and defend us.